Peace, God, peace to the God, peace, God, peace to the God, peace, God, peace to the gods. Namaste, shalom, assalamu alaikum, ashe, and all other forms of greeting. Uncle Jasineb, all of that. Now, had you been watching the YouTube, you would have seen that I already expressed that I was hurt, upset, that I couldn't do anything with the money. I had already talked about that. That's why when you assume that we was already having sex and all of that, I'm just like, she don't even know I went on camera and talked about this already. She don't even have a clue. You know, like, the thing is, if everybody else outside of you, has to be the bigger person first, what type of person does that make you? The small one. That's why when we're accountable, it's the bigger, it makes you bigger than you are. If you go through a disagreement with somebody and you choose to ask for forgiveness, or you choose to forgive the other person first, etc., that makes you the bigger person. That makes your personality and your spirit bigger. But if you choose to go, well, I was right, and that's all, and that's it, and there's no other possibility that it could have been any other way, you're being small-minded. You're being the smaller person. We have to always allow people, you have to always allow yourself the chance to be forgiven, and you got to allow yourself the chance to forgive others, especially when you don't understand the intentions. When Adam came in the room that one day and you said that he owed you apologies, I made sure to apologize first, even though I felt like I ain't do shit wrong. I said, you know what, let me be the mirror neuron and start the apology off first. And you said, man, and after that, he said he apologized for whatever he apologized for. And you were like, man, he still didn't apologize for it. And I'm like, yeah, it takes for a person to be the bigger person to do that. It takes for a person to be big to do that. Small people ain't finna apologize. Motherfuckers small and insignificant, they not finna apologize for shit. They're not gonna be accountable. They're not gonna be forgiving. And that's the same way they feel about themselves. Unforgiving. So they can't learn. They stuck. They're stuck in the same spot, stuck in the same consciousness. Because they're doing the same pattern. At some point, Kaj, I want you to realize that you are this environment. This environment that you're choosing to, if we want to say, run from, escape from, be distant from, at some point you got to realize that you are this environment and this is you. And this is the immune cell. This is the upgrade cell. And your movements put you in a cancer cell. And at some point you need to look at that objectively, fact-based, and be like, yeah, I went from the immune cell to the cancer cell, and then I had to get help from other immune cells to make me make this cancer cell more immune. So if you was doing better, you wouldn't vibrate to a cancer cell. Straight up. The environment that's been supporting you and loving you is still here. It's still growing. It's always been like this, yo. You giving yourself what you deserve. But when you feel like you don't deserve it, you just leave it. That goes for everybody. They feel like they don't deserve it, they leave. They're not on the frequency. If they don't go somewhere better, good luck. If they're not somewhere else in nature, surrounded by beautiful stuff and plants and trees, good luck. You know what an upgrade is. You know what a cancer cell is, and you know what an immune cell is, whether we want to look at them as concepts or not. We know we in the brain. We know we are the brain. I know this. I know all of this stuff is mental because all this is the mind. It's not anything else. That's all that it is. You got vibrations, then you got sound, then you got materialization. Everything starts with the thought vibrates and moves, then there's a sound produced, then the sound materializes something. 4 steps. That's how you get feelings. Through the vibrations and the sounds. Feelings. When people talk, you feel a certain way. Why? The vibrations are hitting your inner ear, your cochlea, your hammer, your anvil and stirrup. And then those bones are connected to the rest of your skeletal system, which causes you to feel. Science. Biology. We want to call it that. It's biology. When you get around people, we're already emitting the sound. We're already emitting the feeling. We're already emitting the vibration, so we can feel. If you're accustomed to the feelings that don't make you feel good, or the sounds that aren't in harmony with you, that's what you're gonna vibrate to. Until you go, I need to be in an environment that's in harmony with the way that I think and conducive to the way that I think. Conducive. It's helping me conduct electricity. It's helping me being more productive and conductive. And when you're the conductor, you're the driver. Conducir in Spanish is to drive. Manejando. Manejar, to drive. Instead of being driven by other people or driven by other things, you're the driver. You're the one with the wheel. God is your co-pilot. Some people say it's God then me, instead of it's me then God. Without me, there is no God. Without me, there is no Allah. Without me, there is no supreme or higher or highest. None of that. It takes me, the observer, the focal point of life. I'm teaching myself and I'm learning myself through all of these different experiences. And it's good that I have people, especially a wide variety of people, and it's more especially than that, if I'm using that terminology correctly, when you got people that's like-minded. There's people that's similar to that's closer to your frequency, people that think like you. Anytime you're getting around people that don't necessarily think like you, that's the quote-unquote lower frequency. They lack the same level of self-awareness. So that's a downgrade. You got to be around people that's more aware of themselves so that you can be more aware of yourself. But when you're around people that aren't as aware of themselves, you're going to be just as unaware. You know this already. If you ain't around the elite or trying to be the elite, then you're going to be whatever's under that, below that, beneath that. You know? Like your hair, by the way. So yeah, it's so simple, man. It ain't. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. We know this already. The cheapest stuff is the easiest stuff to get. The expensive stuff is the hardest stuff to get. And if you're only looking for the easy stuff and the cheap stuff, then that's the same experience you're gonna get. The cheap, easy stuff, the stuff that's easy to do, that's disposable, readily disposable. You're ready to throw it away. Ready to move on to the next thing. But you're not in that stage anymore. You already passed that. You've been past that. Years ago. You've been past that. You didn't come here to live no mediocre life and have no mediocre experience. Nor did you come here to have a lower quality experience. It's not why you're here. You're here to give yourself the best experience in the best environment and the best people and the best situations and the best, the supreme, the premium, the highest. Anything lower than that is settling. Anything. Settling. Connotatively speaking. As soon as something get hard and you run, that's settling. That's escapism. You don't need that because that's not helping you grow. That's helping you be stagnant. Anytime you're doing something like that, it's helping you be stagnant. When people chasing their growth, they come to me. They attract me. Because that's what I am. That's what I'm doing. I'm growing, I'm upgrading, I'm getting better all the time. Regardless of what I'm going through, I'm getting better. I'm the comeback kid, the bounce back. I need to be hearing stuff like this because it's good for me to hear things like this. If nobody else is talking to me like this, they're not really uplifting me. They may be superficially making me feel good. That's about it. But my highest thoughts is what uplifts me the most. My highest thoughts. The most accountable. The best concepts. The best actions. The most practical. The most logical. The most reasonable. That's what upgrades me the most. Regardless of the difficulty setting and how hard or easy it is, that's what upgrades me the most. You're not going to be able, well, I'm not going to say you're not be able, it's different. It's really hard to grow if when you get around people, you're just around them. You're only around them because of your status above them. Do you understand that one? Like, I can feel better about myself when I know somebody isn't as aware or isn't as established or isn't whatever. I feel better about myself because now I'm above them. No, you don't need that. You need somebody that's on your level. Because like I said, otherwise you're just settling. You can't say you don't like to compete. You be lying to yourself. You be lying to yourself if you say you don't like to compete. And this competition is a healthy composition because you better in yourself. Like, hey, I'm doing what I can to be a better me. And people can learn from the example that you set. That you set. Now you're trying to learn from the example that everybody else set. No, you're the one setting the standard. So you meet it and you set it. And people have to, you're the one raising the bar. Ain't nobody else raising the bar, Kai. You raising the bar. People have to come up to you. You don't need to downgrade yourself or lower yourself for any reason. For any purpose. You don't have to. And your humility is the thing that's going to fuel you to success all the time. Your humility, not your pride. That's sinful. Not your greed, not your pride, not your avarice, not your discord, none of those negative sins. The virtues are the thing that are always going to propel you to success and keep you successful in any and every situation. Virtue. That means having a high moral standard. That requires you to listen to people, even when you don't want to hear what they got to say. I remember Musa said this, and me and you talked about this. He said, yeah, sometimes I don't want to hear what people got to say because they be right. They be making me feel a certain type of way, and they be right, and I don't want to hear it. But you need to. One thing I like to say, aside from meditation being the way to keep a person balanced or centered, specifically centered, medi means middle, centered, meditation is also the art of listening. If you go in that tent right there and you don't talk, all you can do is what? Listen. So we call it meditation. You go in the tent to meditate. If you're just being quiet, if you're just listening to music, if you're just sitting on the beach, listening to the waves, looking at everybody smoke weed and drink alcohol and cook on the grill and laugh and play and do all these things that make them feel fun, you still meditating, you listening. You don't even have to talk or interact with people. You're still listening. You're still observing. But you got to be at the point to where you want to listen. When you realize that when you remember that you everybody, you're going to want to listen to yourself. But if you don't want to listen to yourself, then who else going to listen to you? Anybody else? It's your brain. You know that we're paradoxical anomaly. Don't nobody else say that shit. Talib, the only person that ever said that concept of being a paradoxical anomaly. Like, hey, how is it that we're the brain and we're the electric signals in the brain and we're both inside of each other? I'm in your brain and you're in my brain, and we just looking at each other in the same organism, in the same big brain. How's that even possible? Why does it make sense? It shouldn't, but it does. It's all me. Plants, electrical signals. Animals, electrical signals. Light, electrical signal. Dark, electrical signal. Well, not really electrical signal, not the darkness. But you get it. Electrical signal. Every time, double confirmation, electrical signal. The reason why that happens is why? Because I'm in my mind. That's why. Who else is telling you this stuff? Come on, man. You're lying to yourself or fooling yourself, living in a delusion. You know what the best is. You know what the best feel like, what it look like. You know the best experiences. You know all of this stuff. Everything you're doing, you're just treating yourself that way. Ain't nobody else doing this to me. No, you're treating yourself this way and that way. That's why you got to be accountable. So that you're not stuck doing the same patterns and not feeling good about yourself. It has nothing to do with how you feel about the other person. It's how you feel about yourself. As I said earlier, if somebody's got to keep uplifting you, you already don't feel good about yourself. So you have to ask yourself out loud. You have to ask your mind, ask your brain, ask your environment. What do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? What experiences do I need that are going to cause me to have the clarity that I need to feel better about myself? What do I need to experience that's going to cause me to be at a state of peace, mental peace, and not these superficial moments of enjoyment, these cheap thrills, as we like to call them. Cheap thrill. The inexpensive stuff. The stuff that's not as valuable as the big stuff. Cheap thrills. Where are my emotional investments taking me? I'm investing my emotions into certain things in life. Where are they taking me? That's what you got to analyze in each and every day, in each and every moment of your life. Where are my emotional investments taking me? Whether it be a financial investment, that's still your emotions. Whether it be a physical investment, that's still your emotions. Logical, mental. All these are your investments. Whatever you put your attention into, that's your investment. You're investing it into your mind, into your mental. And a vest is something that protects or covers. So what are you doing to protect yourself? Not what is everybody else doing to protect me, to reassure me. What am I doing to protect myself? What am I doing to put my vest around my mental situations? This is upliftment. It always is. It always will be. It takes humility to do this. Pride ain't gonna do it. It takes humility to listen. It takes humility to invest my emotions into things that make me feel good and things that are gonna last me for a really long time. It takes humility. It takes wisdom. It takes guidance. It takes support. It takes love. It takes gratitude. It takes thankfulness. It takes honor. To be focused on what I want to invest my energy into. The things that are going to last me a very long time. All that superficial, non-intimate shit is fucking me up. And it's fucking you up. If it ain't profound, don't deal with it. We already went through the superficial part of life. We already swam on the shallow end. Now we swimming in the deep end. You's a guppy. At some point now you're a shark or a whale or an octopus if you want to be that. Whatever goes the deepest. Maybe a coral on the bottom of the ocean. You know? You just don't need to keep putting yourself in the same situation. But without facing your shortcomings, you're never gonna be long. You never gonna have the longevity. There we go. Without facing your shortcomings, you won't have the longevity. Everything gonna be short bursts. Just quick cheap thrills. Everything you've done here and assisted with here is an investment. Investment is an emotional, psychological investment. And investments over time do what? Grow. Correct? And how stock work? You invest in a stock, and over time it grows. Even when you just leave it alone. But as long as you're focusing on your investment and you keep your attention on your investment, it has to grow. You know that already. Whatever you feed your attention into has to grow. Things grow just because you observe it over and over. So whatever you don't want to grow, you know what you're going to do? Not give it your attention. If it's something that you created and you put your mind and your investment and your emotions into, and your heart and your sentiments into, and you say, fuck it, I'm just going to leave it, you're not really focused on it growing. Unless you invested into something that it has no choice but to grow. Like a plant or a tree. Excuse me, same thing. Or a relationship. The more you put into it, the more it's going to grow. You still have to focus on exactly what actions you want to put into it. You still got to focus on how you're going to support it. You still got to work on your foundation. Look, I've been over here working on my foundation. You say it's a symbol, right? Look at the symbolism of how my environment is changing. I'm restoring. We talked about that word, restore. Building up the foundation. Look at the symbolism. Look at the organization and the structure. It's symbolism. My foundation getting stronger. It's getting more sturdy. Fail-proof, foolproof. Getting upgraded. All I got to do is assist it. All I got to do is be there to assist it grow. In its growth, excuse me. Really. See that? Right in my lap. Come on, man. It's all we ever had to do. That's it. Make the best of what you got and invest with it. Invest to it. Invest it. I remember the first day I came to this house, I cried like a baby. I had kept telling myself that I wanted stability when I got here. I came, this is on my third time coming to the tropics. The third time coming to Puerto Rico, I was like, man, I really want to stay there, but I need a house. Like I need some kind of stability because I'm not finna keep doing this Airbnb shit. I'm not finna keep going, traveling the world and never knowing what exactly I'm gonna stay at and all this other stuff. I want some kind of investment, something I can invest my mind into long term instead of having all these short term experiences. The shit that I can enjoy, but only for a short amount of time. Yet I'm the being that keeps living forever or keeps living as long as I do. Where are the things that I get to watch grow over time? Where are the things that I get to watch grow for 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 years? Aside from just the humans. What do I get to hold on to? That's what I think about. Like I said, I cried like a little baby. I cried. I didn't even know exactly why I was crying. I was just like happy that I kept wanting something and I got it. Regardless of the condition that it was in, because it was unlivable and uninhabitable, I was just happy that I got that thing that I wanted so much. And I said, now that I got it, I'm going to value it a lot. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna value it a lot. Francisco seen me. I was crying in front of him. Francisco and Onika and Akosha. I was just happy. I was already sad because of our situation, but it made me feel real good to know that there was a situation outside of what I was experiencing that I could grow in. Because every seed, every plant, every organism needs needs a stable environment to grow in, some kind of conducive environment to grow in. And I found an environment that I can actually grow in and with. So that's where I put my energy and my efforts into. An environment that I can grow in and with. Instead of being so quick to just throw that shit away, instead of having some kind of disposable fucking experience, something that's insignificant, I got something that's long term and got other people involved. Long term. That's what I did. And ain't no separation in that thought. That's what this experience is. I'm gonna grab 2 more. Don't move. Grab some water too. So that's why I'm here. Yep. I mean, we're going to share. Yeah, I got you. That's why I'm here, growing all of this and doing all of this. It's a lot of hard work. Look at this, man. This used to be just matter of fact, this was just gravel and rocks and shit. That's what this used to be. Now it's fruit trees. It's flowers, it's butterflies, it's bees, it's cats. It took a lot. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of living by example. It took a whole lot of it. It took a lot of observation. I'm one of the people that actually had the chance. I'm one of the people that actually had the chance, yo. And I took my chance and my opportunity, and I made the best of it. I've been making the best of it. And I'm going to continue to make the best of it. Continue to. I work hard being a mirror neuron, yo. I work hard. I still got certain things that I do that the mirror may not be so happy seeing sometimes, but they gotta exist. It's hard work. And as we know, hard work pays off every time. Whatever you put your energy into, whatever you feed your energy into and your attention into, it's got to grow. Because you are the thing powering it with your attention. That's what makes you so powerful. All you got to do is get something your attention to feed it. That's it. See, it has been said that we need negativity in order to have positivity, which is true. So we need negative situations, and we need people that think negatively so that we can come up with a positive and or healthy perspective. We need that. But if we in this life to where everybody around us is only being positive, we don't have the negativity to fuel us to be more positive. Because you're going to stay on the same level. Same level. It's actually important to have people that disagree with you. Instead of being upset that somebody has an opposing opinion, it's really important that there are people, places, and things that disagree with your perspective. That's a part. Having that exist is a part of what makes the world the world. You're gonna have people that agree and people that disagree, and you need that. We need it. I need it. Let me see that. We need it and I need it. There are things that happen in history that we never do again. Why? Because people had to disagree with it. We talk about slavery. We talk about the economy. We talk about the court systems. People got to disagree with them shits just for them to change. You need the opposing opinions. You need the opposing perspectives instead of just being mad that somebody think differently than you. That's crazy. Hey, you see it this way and I see it this other way. Well, since you see it your way, fuck you, I disagree with you and I don't like you and I hate you and I don't want to talk to you. That's crazy. It's also, it's like, it's dismissive. It's crazy. Broken. I meant what I said on the phone. Don't nobody give a fuck like I do. That's why you don't get it from nobody else. If they care, if they truly care, you get the same stuff. You get the same energy. The people that actually care, they're gonna give you the same energy. They're gonna acknowledge the good, they're gonna acknowledge the negative, all of that stuff. Matter of fact, this is another thought I want to give you. When I look at your Instagram profile now, Kaj, I look at you as if you lost. I'm gonna tell you why. When you're going through life, I think it's a Bible verse as well that says when you're moving forward, you don't need to look back. You know what the problem is with that? When you don't look back, you don't know where you came from. You don't know where you fell short. When in that movie Hancock, do you remember us watching Hancock? The guy was like, dude, look at what you did. See, Hancock would be so when Will Smith was Hancock, he was so focused on just doing what he wanted to do to save whatever, he wouldn't look at the destruction he was causing. He didn't look back at it. And the guy worked with him and was like, look, you need to look back. Look at what you're doing. Instead of just trying to fly everywhere and do this and relax and blah, 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 actually just look back. Look at your past. Use retrospect. Use hindsight so that you know how to go forward. You can't go forward without looking back because you don't know where your source is. You don't know where you started from. Are we clear? Crystal. That's why you got to look back at your actions and see where you went wrong and where you could have improved that, etc., etc. Neil deGrasse Tyson said, it doesn't matter how well, I'm paraphrasing, it doesn't matter how well renowned a scientist is. We still go back and check the work. Sometimes 2 times, sometimes 3 times. We still go back and check the work just to make absolutely sure that they was right. And when we find out that they was absolutely right, then we just keep on moving. As a mechanic, I was told, measure twice and drill once. Don't just measure one time and think that you got it. Measure twice. And sometimes you want to measure thrice. You want to measure 3 times to make sure that you're drilling the right hole in the right place. That measuring point is the looking back point. Let me look back at what I did. Let me look back and make absolutely sure that I put that thing in the right place. I understand that I'm a being that likes to set things into motion and then move. However, even though I set them in motion, I still go back and check on them. I go check, still go check, like how's that thing that I set in that place doing? I'm gardening, I got this big giant garden. Let me make sure I look at all the plants that I planted. I propagated something, let me make sure I'm giving it enough water. Let me make sure it's not wilted. I had to go check on that guava plant many times. And if I didn't and I just left it there, it just would have wilted away. I had to go make sure that it was doing all right and go water it when it needed water until it could finally do its thing on its own. I had to look back. That's the only way for me to go forward for that thing to grow. So your issue that I can see is when you're refusing to look back sometimes. And you need to. So that you know how to go forward. Otherwise, you're just going to be lost. Like Alice in Wonderland, who was lost. She didn't know where she came from. She didn't know how she got there. We knew as the observer, man, yeah, you drank this drink and it shrunk you. And then you went in this door, and then you did all of this shit. That's how you got there. You know? The Cheshire Cat was being super real with Alice. Where'd you come from? Shit, I don't know. But shit, I can't tell you where you're going then. I can't tell you where you're going. If you can't tell me where you came from, I would love to help you. I would love to. Where'd you start? I remember what made me start smoking cigarettes and smoking weed and drinking alcohol. I remember why I started. Surely do. I stopped caring about certain things. I was going through pain. I was going through hurt. And I was like, fuck it. It's on the other side, Patches. I was going through pain and I was going through hurt. So I was like, man, fuck it. I'm not even concerned with the health. I'm not even concerned with the longevity. I'm not concerned with it. I'll be fine. That's how I started. But I had to already be in pain to even start the pattern. So when I tell you, hey, God, you know you're still stuck on them patterns because you're still hurting from something that you ain't acknowledged. It's something that you refusing to look back. It's like all you got to do is this. And you get right here and go, no, I ain't gonna look back at that thing. Yeah, no, I ain't gonna look back at it. No, you need to look back at it so you can move forward instead of holding on to the past over and over and over and over again. Just holding on to the past. The distant past. Well, here's something interesting, guys. I noticed that every time I don't talk to you, Francisco doesn't pop up. The reason why I know this to be true is because it's a consistent pattern. You see, I'm one of those people who sat at my house for almost 2 years and just watched life happen. I just watched it. And I caught on to so many different patterns. I tell the story often. I caught on to so many patterns and so many synchronicities, and I'm like, why does this exist like this? I said to myself, you mean to tell me that when me and Kaj don't communicate, Francisco doesn't pop up? That's interesting. I wonder why. What significance do they have? It's probably because both of them are part of this environment. I mean, it's good that you went. It's good that you at a certain point, to a certain extent, I should say, you chose to go to a cancer cell and you went there to transmute some energy. It helps you get stronger, you know, but you're still not totally happy. You're not. You're trying to figure out how to be happy. You're trying to do certain things to make you happier. Instead of just being happy with what is. Instead of just being grateful for what is. Are you breathing? Yes. Can you see? Yes. Are you alive? Yes. Do you got people who love you and support you? Yes. What about that stuff? What kind of happiness are you looking for?
I've never said anything about happiness.
Something to think about. It was unique. Out of everything I said, that's what you responded to. So that's something that you should look into.
Yeah, because you just said I'm off looking for happiness. I've never mentioned that or anything like that. So, I mean, for the record, I never said I went somewhere and now I'm not happy or I'm looking for happiness. I never said that. You said that.
I'm glad that you responded with that after 39 minutes of talking. And I want to tell you that you should look into what you said, because that's why you're responding specifically to that.
It's because you're putting words in my mouth, and I just want to clarify that I never said any of those things.
Okay, well, fair enough. I apologize if I put words in your mouth. That wasn't my intention.
Okay.
It's certainly something that you should think about, though, and consider. Because there has to be some truth to it, for you to respond to it like that. There has to be. Because I've said a lot. It's possible that you're telling yourself that you're happy and you're not.
Well, I know I'm happy trying to do what I'm trying to do, so, I mean, I respect you commenting on it, but that's not reality, so.
What did I just say?
What did you just say?
Yeah, what did I just say right before you said what you said? I made sure not to add any other thoughts in it.
You're happy that I responded, and I need to think about that after not responding after 39 minutes.
I said it's possible that you're telling yourself you're happy and you're not.
Okay.
And I said that's the part that you should consider. That's all I said. That's just what you should consider. You don't have to agree or disagree. You consider it. Consideration is, let me give it some kind of thought. I might not agree with it. I might say yes. I might say no. But let me at least give it some thought. That's consideration. So you accept the thought and consider it, and then you give it back however you want to give it back. Consideration. Instead of just rejecting it altogether. Like, no, that couldn't be it. Nah. That's not how this works. Because rejecting is like saying, hey, that's impossible. When you tell me, or what I hear, well, Barry was saying this and that, just come back at this time, and I was like, man, fuck. That shows me unhappiness. That shows me discontent. Because there's a lack of freedom there. And that lack of freedom does not make you happy. In any moment, in any second of the time, when you don't get the freedom to do what you want to do, it doesn't necessarily make you happy. You can't be all work and no play. You can't be all play and no work. Got to balance it out in order to be happy. If you partied every day, eventually you're going to get tired of partying. If you work every day, eventually you're going to get tired of working. That's how this works. But you need to analyze each and every aspect of your life to see, number one, what keeps you in a state of peace. Not what gives you peace, what keeps you in a state of peace. And what you'll notice is your relationships is what keeps you the most peaceful. Your relationships. If you were alone by yourself, you wouldn't be the most peaceful.
Yeah, because nobody would be stressing me out. I'd just be by myself.
That's a delusion, and I'll tell you why. Everybody and everything in life is looking for some kind of heartbeat. Everything and everyone in life is looking for oxytocin. Somebody to touch, something to touch. When people are there, people typically don't, how do I say it? People aren't typically alone because when they are, they at least get an animal to make them not feel as lonely. They'll get an animal, a dog, a gerbil, a hamster, a cat, an alligator, a fucking shrimp, a fucking pig, whatever. Something that got a heartbeat. Even the cats go around and deal with other cats. Even the dogs go hang around each other. And the bees and the ants and the birds. You know, if they wanted to be alone, they just would be. But they don't happiness in that. You say, well, I can't be bothered by this and I can't be bothered by that. I say, well, number one, you need positive and negative energy. You need agreements and disagreements. And that's how you get to the neutral state. You need all of that. Man is not happy alone. Whether it be womb man or man with the penis. Man is not happy alone. There's nothing to interact with. There's no heartbeats, other spirits that move and have feelings, sentience. Sentient beings is what we look for in life. Sentient. And without that, happiness is far and few in between. Few and far in between, however that shit is said. You ain't ever gonna find yourself in a moment to where you just like, I'm just gonna be alone. No, you're gonna find some friends, you're gonna find a party, you're gonna find a beach with people. All the time, no matter what you do and where you go. Even if you're in the rainforest, you're gonna find people. And those engagements are the ones that make you feel happy. They make you feel more like yourself, like it's somebody or something to bounce your thoughts off of. That's gonna talk to you. That's gonna love you, that's gonna touch you, that's gonna hug you, whatever. That's gonna make you smile. Would you lucky you got something to say? Hey, say something.
No, I don't want to say anything. I didn't come over here to be on camera or talking.
Well, what's wrong with what's wrong with the camera? This is a really great moment. This is great.
Okay.
Do you disagree? I think this is a great time to talk. It's a learning experience. What does the camera change about anything?
It changes. It's not a personal conversation. I don't feel like talking and then having you broadcast it to everybody else. That's not why I came over here, but that's what you want to do, so I'm listening. I'm trying to be a listener.
Well, is there anything I've said that you disagree with? Is there anything that I've said, question number 2, is there anything that I've said that other people couldn't learn from?
I mean, you're going to have to ask them if they can learn from it. I'm not
So can you see that other people can learn from this situation as well? From this conversation, I should say? Or monologue, or whatever we want to call it, monologue. Can you see that? Or do you think they're just meaningless words? Is there any meaning to it? This is what I mean by you got to get better at situations like this, the performing on the spot instead of doing it.
I didn't know I was coming over to perform.
Well, even you listening is performing.
Okay, well, then I'm listening. I'm performing by listening.
Correct. But what you're showing me is your sensitivity. That's what I'm clearly seeing is your sensitivity. And what you would do is you would address your sensitivity. What makes you feel uncomfortable? What exactly makes you feel uncomfortable? What exactly makes you feel comfortable? Whatever it is. That's what this experience is for. That's what all of these experiences on camera are for. That's what really every experience, whether the camera there is there or not, that's what they're for. So you can address, hey, maybe I should get better at XYZ, or maybe I could change this or change that, or maybe I'm already doing what I need to do. Maybe I'm already good. Like, you got to be able to look back at the moment and be like, okay, I feel good about all of that. You know how sometimes we go through stuff in life and afterwards we'd be like, man, I should have said this and I should have said that and I could have did this and I could have did that. Those are the moments when we're in like regret and we don't really feel good, etc., etc. But when you got something to look back on, it's easy to not be in that situation anymore. Like, okay, you know what I said? It's like I said everything I needed to say. I expressed everything I needed to express, and I feel good about myself after the fact. When we're in regret and we're like, man, I should have said this and I should have said this and I should have said all this other stuff and did all this other stuff, we're not totally happy with ourselves and how we acted in those moments. So what happens is we get the same opportunity, chance and opportunity. Remember, we get the same opportunities so that we can do it the way that we wanted to do it the first time. Life just keeps presenting those same situations in different forms with different people sometimes. So we can do what we would have felt better about in those moments. See, this situation ain't nothing in life. It is, yet it isn't. It's still a paradox. It's not necessarily about you, but at the same time it is. You still have to consider that you got reflections and other people and other images of yourself that want to hear this so that they can learn as well, because they need to hear it too.
Well, they're hearing it.
They need to hear it too. They need to see it too. They might not have anybody else talk to them like this. They might not have somebody give them clear perspectives. They might not have that. Some of the people I meet in the street, they don't really have a family. They don't have friends. They just need somebody to talk to. I've said that before. They just need somebody to talk to give them some kind of healthy perspective, because nobody else would give them a chance. You're one of those people that will go talk to them and give them a chance. And they admire you and respect you for that. Because while everybody else would write them off, maybe if they're drug addicts, maybe they're thieves, whatever they got going on, you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm still going to talk to them, and I'm still going to give them a chance to get to know them and get to know their life. And I'm going to show them that there is actually people out here that give a fuck about your life and your happiness. Whoever he or she is, there actually are people that care and want to help and want to do stuff. They need that. If I recall correctly, in the Bible, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Jesus was around the prostitutes and the thieves and all of that. He was around all those negative people, still doing what he was doing. Correct me, is that correct? You see? And we say, hey, well, Jesus is a frequency. You're not supposed to necessarily look at the person. You're supposed to look at what he did, what that being represented in the book. And you've been representing that being in the book, which puts you on the frequency. The Christ consciousness. The self-awareness. The, hey, we all in this together. That's what you represent. That's what you are. That's what you've been doing at the house. You know what Sheila told me the other night? Sheila said, man, it's like Khajjah an angel. She was at the right place at the right time, and she did this and she did that, and Barry could have died. But in Barry's head, in my opinion, still nobody care. When somebody's saying just let me die, when I heard my mama say that shit, just let me die. In their mind, don't nobody care. And they don't care either. So they needed to have somebody show them, hey, you are important. You actually do have a sense of worth. You got a big sense of self-worth, and there's people that actually love you and care about you, don't want to see you hurt, don't want to see you in pain, don't want to see you suffering. We don't want to see that. So we're going to do what we can to help you. You change that man's life. You change people's lives when you do that.
Yeah, he's opening up a life insurance policy and naming me the fucking beneficiary. So
there you go.
He accepts that.
There you go. And that's the situation as an angel, as a cherub or seraph. We're both familiar with those words, correct? The big angels. Seraphim. The seraphim, the cherub. Instead of a Nephilim, you're doing your motherfucking thing. And with that being said, of course, I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you for doing that. Because it's a big ass thing. It's huge. It's something that's going to affect you and benefit you for the rest of your life. Those are the moments, excuse me, those are the moments that we live for. Hey, I changed somebody's life. What did I do for somebody? I like how Eligio said it too. What have you done for somebody that, he said, you haven't truly helped somebody until you help them in a way that they can't give you the return on it. You going out here, being in Puerto Rico, improving your life, being a better you, changing and improving other people's lives in a way that they can't do the same thing for you. They'd have to change and improve your life in a different way. If they're gonna do that. One of the guys I talked to at the beach in Luquillo, he was like, yeah, man, when you're around here helping people, you're always good. But if you're here and you're not helping people, then you might as well go. You might as well go somewhere. People be needing help. When you in angel mode, that's what you do. You helping people. Especially when you look at them as yourself. That's the journey of this angel thing, man. We're in heaven, we're angels, we're helping everybody and everything. We're helping everybody else realize that they're angels too. Your true form. You're already a light being. What part of the light are you serving? As one of the Muslim brothers told me one day at the Indian Springs of Butts County. Oh no, excuse me, at Curry Muncher. He said, "Yeah, you a light being, but what part of the light are you serving? Light comes in all different forms. Which form of light are you?" He asked me that, the owner, and I was like, "Man, that's a profound question. That's a profound question. What part of the light are you serving? 'Cause we could say darkness, but everything is dark, that's in the dark comes to light. So what part of the light are you serving?" That's a great question. And you serving the good part of the light, the beneficial part, the healthy part, the immune part, the thing that upgrades and helps and supports, the miracle part. The hey, I was at the right place at the right time and made a decision that wound up changing a person's life. The good shit. The God shit.
Doctor said he would have been dead by the next day.
The doctor said he would have been dead by the next day. He saved the man's life. You saved somebody's life, yo. So for the rest of your life, that's what you always gonna remember. It's gonna follow you forever. That's great karma. So when you look at your sense of self-worth, you got to look at yourself as really important. You know? Really important. Really, really important. That's all I've ever wanted you to see in yourself, Khaj, since I met you. Instead of looking at this lowly form of yourself and saying that you didn't, when you sat alone, you say, I sit alone and I don't like myself. Now you're over here doing big things, helping a lot of people, change your life around. And you had help and you had support the whole time. And it never left you. I always had your back, you know. Always. You always had your own back. Always. And I love you. You need to remember that. Love you, I love us, I love myself. You know how it works. I love you. Because you put in a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort and went through a lot of stress to do it. You went through exactly what I went through. Well, not exactly, approximately what I went through. You went through the hardships. You went through the people not appreciating it. You went through the backstabbing. You went through the can't trust this person. You went through all of it to get where you at. I hear you, Koki. Y'all make me feel a whole lot better when I hear y'all throughout the day instead of only at nighttime, because you let me know I'm healing myself. You let me know that. I know that when the Kokis are coming out, I'm regenerating. My energy is regenerating and revitalizing. I know that sound now. I'm familiar with that sound and its effect on me. And I said, when there's more plants around here, I'm going to start hearing more Kokis in the daytime. When it's time to rejuvenate, when it's time for my wound to put itself back together, I hear them Kokis. I know that they're healing. I know that they're soothing. I know that they're restoring. The reptiles, they represent regeneration. When I hear roosters, I know I'm being protected from negative energy. I already told myself that symbol. I know that I'm in my mind, and I got this phone to give me the illusion that I don't know sometimes. And it's all in me. It all is me. What is the rooster? Hey, mind, what does the rooster symbolize? Okay, cool. Let me pull the phone out and see. So you're protected against the negative energies. You're already getting the regenerative energy. You regenerated the whole environment.
I knew you needed a phone. I knew it.
I'm grateful, thankful, and honored. Not only did that phone assist me, it assisted you too in putting your message out. This is all working for you. It's always been working for you. and not against you. Even the opposing opinions are still working for you. Even the opposing perspectives are still working for you because they let you know where you at. You're doing a great job. And I'm doing a great job. How many people can say they saved somebody's life, Kai? How many people can say that they saved somebody from dying? You know how big that is? Life change, that's life altering. So instead of the doctors and the nurses having to call his family and tell him he didn't make it because he had this and that, you was there to save the day. A motherfucking hero. Heroin. And not the drug. You know? A hero. That's what that eagle represents. That's what Heru represents. The falcon. The hero. Heru, hero. Change the U to an O. Flying high, soaring above. That's what you're here for. You already made it out the trenches. I remember I played defensive line, yo. And the defensive line in football, we call that the trenches. The lowest. That's where usually the dirty plan is, and gouging eyes and gouging in the neck and holding. That's why all this stuff happened. The trenches. You came out of the trenches. You started from the bottom, now you here for real. You can say that as a joke, or you can say it seriously. I started from the bottom and now I'm here. Just like the song. Now I'm in the penthouse overlooking all of this stuff. I'm overlooking all of it because I'm flying so high. People can't even get to me. I'm flying so high. And when they try to pull me down, I just fly higher.
I can't reach down from up here.
And I can't reach down. I can't even reach down to help them because I'm so high. They got to come up to me. Who else has said this to you, Kai? Self-realization moment, yo. And all your reflections is a self-realization moment. This is where I came. This is where I came from. I was a menace terrorizing society. Everybody got a story. I was a menace terrorizing society, hurting myself and others. I broke out of that shit and started helping people and helping myself. And I went from 0 to hero. And I changed lives. And with that being said, peace and love.